Welcome to the Running Network Show. Join us each time as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great sport.
Hello, everyone. This is Gary Morgan with the Running Network and Michigan Runner, along with Larry Eder. Well, Larry, what do you think about this track meet for the last couple of days?
2 days of track fun. Almost 10,000 people in the stands both days. Wonderful crowd yesterday. A great decathlon, a real revelation showing Ashton Eaton, who will not only be a star in Daegu, but I believe a star in 2012, 2016, and 2020. He's got the natural ability of Dan O'Brien, and he's got guts. And Harry Mira, who's coaching with him, the man with Fred Samara, who was behind the Visa Decathlon program in the 90s. Mira knows his stuff, and he's working with Ashton on his throws, which is the only weak part he's got in the deck. So I thought that was pretty exciting. What about you, Gary?
Well, the 100 turned into be quite the race today. Tyson Gay had to pull out with an injury, and then Ivory Williams had a false start. So Walter Dix, who keeps being Mr. Consistent with a couple of bronze medals, wins a championship here. Another trip to Daegu.
Walter is an interesting story. The poor guy came up from San Francisco on Wednesday, and as some of us do when we have a big bag, he had it shipped, with the little green label on it, and it's supposed to be there for him when he gets to Eugene. His bag with his passport, his shoes, his clothes disappeared. They still haven't found it. Walter didn't crack up. He stayed focused. He's run very, very well. We'll see him in the 200, too. Mike Rogers, I think, is a real revelation, too. Rogers ran 985 at the Nike Pre, and just is consistently developing into more mature sprinter. And I think you'll see more and more out of him. But it was a tremendous race. It's sad that Tyson is not running. He's got an abductor and a hamstring issue. He ran 979 3 weeks ago. Then had that rainy race last week in New York, the 10:26. I thought he looked really ragged in the first round here, and so he will not be going to Daegu, and it's really sad, but that is the nature of the business. The women's 100 meters, Carmelita Jeter just makes me crack up. We interviewed her in New York, and she said that when she listens to her coach, John Smith, she runs really well. But when she doesn't, she screws up. And so yesterday after her first heat, and she ran 10:87, I said, "How you doing?" She goes, "Listening to my coach," and just kind of smiled and giggled a bit. Well, she listened to her coach tonight and ran a fantastic race. Marchevette Myers in second place looked superb. And Mickey Barber, that was
she's improving.
She's really improving. She stayed really focused. Most people see Mickey as a 60-meter runner. The difference between the 60 and the 100 is all about technique and execution, and Barber is really developing into her own. So I think we're going to have a superb 4x100 relay team too. So that'll be exciting to see. A lot of the women will come back in the 200 tomorrow and the next day as well. What else did you see?
Well, the last race of the night, the ageless Bernard Lagat. The guy of all the distance guys, he just looks so smooth and barely using any energy, and has a phenomenal kick, whether it's 1,500 or the 5,000. He's just phenomenal.
But that's the nature of the beast. Bernard's been running at an elite level for 15 years. He's got a tremendous coach, Coach Lee. They're very, very close. They talk about the races beforehand. But if you watch Lagat, he's at the most control when he waits really late in the race. The guy will wait till 50 meters before the finish, and he's still in control when everybody else is falling apart. That's experience. He races hard. He trains hard. He's a very smart racer. Zielinski has had some issues with his leg. That's why he dropped out of the 10 at the Nike Pre. But he ran a brilliant race, about 4:01 for the last 1,600 and about 1:55 for the last 800. It was a tough race. You got to get your hands off to Galen Rupp, too, who won the 10,000 last night with a 1:52.8 last 800 meters after virtually jogging the first 9K. Galen's been wearing a face mask. I heard someone holler, "Hey, Hannibal," kind of giving a little bit of trouble, as in Hannibal Lecter, but Galen's got allergies. He dropped it off at 6K last night. Tonight, I think he let it go at about 2K. But Rupp is racing into his form as well, and he's on two teams. Tegenkamp last night, who made the team in the 10,000, he was third. He got run down by Scotty Bowes. Biles ran the best race that guy's run in 5 years. I mean, he put it together. Some people say maybe he should have put it together earlier, but I'm happy to see him do it and make a team. But mark my word, Tegan Camp, you better watch out for in Daegu. When he ran 27-28 at Peyton Jordan, the guy was having a sack lunch. Last night, he's getting into shape. His coach the whole team is working very, very hard. Watch him run 151, 152 at the end of that 10,000 in Daegu. And if he's there, he could be a potential threat. He's finished 4th in Osaka, remember, in the 5K. Tegan Camp knows how to race. So there was some, the two things. Let's talk about field events for a couple minutes.
Yes.
First of all, we got to worship Kibwe Johnson. Yeah. 263 feet, 6 inches in the hammer, 80.31. This guy is now in the serious food chain in the hammer throw. You know, if you're a hammer throw geek like we are, it's made us cry for the last 10 or 11 years that we've had guys who just, you know, they're good guys, but they're not throwing with the big boys. Johnson can throw with the big boys now. You know, if he puts his act together, he'll be top 6 in Daegu, and that would be really exciting to see. What's also kind of fun is looking at Coach Dick Booth down in Florida. He's got 2 young triple jumpers who are coming back in the long jump too. Booth is the dean of jump coaches. The man is amazing. And back in '95, if you remember Göteborg, he had the silver medalist in the triple and the long jump. I think he had a guy in the high jump too. But Booth is just very gentle, thoughtful coach. The athletes work with him. They love him, and they respond. And, I mean, that's part of it. Coaching is a real art. There's science to it too. But we've got some tremendous coaches in the U.S., so it's been a lot of fun. The 400, men's 400, I mean, Jeremy's really coming into shape. I think he's looking very good, Warner. He ran out of lane 2. He's doing what he has to do, but he's back with Coach Hart. I think you won't see any surprises there. You'll see a college kid. I'm thinking maybe Roberts or Torrance making the final team. It's going to be interesting. It's going to probably take 44.8 to make the men's 400 team. The women's 400, that's Allison Felix and Debbie Dunn show, but someone's going to surprise in there. There's some tough girls.
Hastings.
Natasha Hastings has looked great in her rounds. She's running very well. And Mary Weinberg, just coming back from a baby. Very tough, too. So
yeah, we got a strong team, and we still got lots of events for the next 2 days. So I think we're going to have a superb team going to Korea and leading into the London Olympics.
And if you're not getting enough geek stuff from us, make sure you check out runnerspace.com, too. They're doing fun stuff every day. So for Gary
and Larry,
the Gary and Larry show is off for tonight. We got to thank Craig Wyman, Running Network's footwear editor, for holding the camera straight and making us look good.
Yeah.
Talk to you guys.
Yep, out of Eugene, Oregon, here at the historic Hayward Field. And we'll be back tomorrow.